So be it, Jedi.
What's going on, guys? Back in another video, another episode of Read or Skip It. And today we're going to talk about Cloak of Deception by James Luceno. Published in 2001, just a couple years after episode 1, The Phantom Menace, came out. This is one of those stories that sort of helps make the prequels make sense. So this novel, along with Darth Plagueis, which was published in 2012, Darth Maul's Shadowhunter, etc., these stories help sort of explain the politics and the machinations of the Sith throughout the prequels. So because of that, of course, there is a lot of politics in this story. It may not be for everybody, but I personally enjoy the politics in Star Wars and the more political books. So although there isn't much action in terms of what you would expect from a Star Wars novel, I enjoyed it for the most part. We start off with Trade Federation Lucre Holt class freighter, the ones we see in The Phantom Menace and later in Revenge of the Sith. And they are getting swarmed by a terrorist organization called Nebula Front. This mission is ran by Captain Cole, and essentially what they're trying to do is take over the freighter, destroy it if they have to, but they're really after these erodium ingots, so pretty much like bars, like you would see gold bars, that are hidden amongst the freight of this ship. Well, Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi are on their tail due to one of Qui-Gon's informants. Things go down, the ship gets destroyed, Captain Cole and his band of misfits get away, but they sort of make it seem like they died in the explosion. Qui-Gon doesn't really believe this, he thinks there's more to it than just that, and he sort of says that this isn't the end of Captain Cole. Chancellor Valorum is a big player in this book, so is Palpatine, and they're sort of trying to figure out how they're going to get by with taxing the free trade zones, which of course is what prompted the Trade Federation to blockade Naboo in episode 1. Well, they decide that, hey, if we're going to tax you guys on the free trade zones, we'll allow you to arm yourselves a little bit more to protect yourselves from these pirate attacks. That's pretty much the agreement they come to. Qui-Gon Jinn reports to the Jedi Order and says that there's more to this than what they see. Palpatine is sort of talking to Valorum, and they confide in each other, trying to figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to appease everybody. They decide there's going to be a summit, a trade summit at Iriadu, which, if you know, is Tarkin's home planet. So they're going to get all those involved with the Trade Federation, all the people who really have something to gain or lose from this situation, and they're going to have them meet at Iriadu and discuss it further before it gets bogged down in the Senate and all that. Come to find out that Cole was being paid to steal these ingots for a person called Havoc. If you don't know who Havoc is, that's pretty much his name. He's sort of the more radical side of the Nebula Front. Cole is more so just guns for hire. Palpatine, in the underworld of Coruscant, of course probably hiding his true identity, meets with Havoc. And what Havoc really wants is just to be invited to the summit at Iriadu so that they can speak their claim, because they're tired of the Trade Federation pretty much just taking what they can from these worlds that they're bringing stuff to. They, if you want goods from the core and you're in the Outer Rim, you're going to pay our price or you're not going to get what you want. Unbeknownst to us, there is a assassination attempt on Valorum around the Senate district on Coruscant, and they pretty blatantly make it out to be that Nebula Front is involved. Well, if Nebula Front is the ones that are sort of wanting to be represented in this meeting, why are they openly trying to assassinate Valorum? It seems like, you kind of want to be on good terms with Chancellor and the Republic as a whole. Havoc has bigger plans for the summit on Iriadu, so the Jedi are pretty much assigned to help figure out what's going on, and they track down the Nebula Front's base to this planet. I forget the name, but that in itself is a trap to sort of delay the Jedi so that the presence isn't at Iriadu, and Havoc can carry out his plans, which we'll find out later. So on this planet, we have Qui-Gon Jinn, a lot of pretty much every Jedi member of the Council that we've seen in Phantom Menace. So Adi Gallia, Sae-Ten, Plo Koon, all of them are pretty much at this planet trying to figure out what's going on. the militant side of the Nebula Front attacks, and they're just lucky enough to get away. The Jedi figure out that there is sort of a bait and switch thing going on, and they need to get to Iriadu's. And that's when you see one of Palpatine's advisors, I think it's Sate Pestage or Kinman Doriana. If you're familiar with these names, then you've probably read some of these books. Well, he transfers data to sort of make Valorum look bad. And what that data says is that he would have some sort of conflict of interest, that if the taxation of the free trade zones was pushed through, he has a family company on Iriadu that would benefit greatly from that. All of this is just to make Valorum look bad, and I guess sort of make it look like he already had a bad image in the public by the time we get to the Phantom Menace, because what we only see in the Phantom Menace is they just vote no confidence. So I guess this sort of helps just make sense of that. And that is where the gold ingots came from, is that it was transferred to an account that was linked to Valorum, and it all sort of makes sense. It makes it seem like Valorum had something to do with the first attack on the Trade Federation freighter in the beginning and all that. So on Iriadu, Havoc has enlisted Cole to help with this operation. Sort of made out to seem that they're going to assassinate the Chancellor, but what ultimately happens when the plan is foiled, Havoc tries to kill Cole. Cole barely survives. The Jedi catch on to their trail, and what Havoc is trying to do is kill all the members of the Trade Federation Directorate. So pretty much he succeeds with that, and the only people that are left are Nute Gunray, Hath Mon Char, pretty much the Nemoidians that we see in the Phantom Menace. Everyone else is wiped out. So they make it seem like the Nebula Front is trying to kill the Trade Federation, instead of making it seem like they were going to kill the Chancellor. Captain Cole and Havoc pretty much kill each other. They're both dead. There's no loose ends to figure anything out from. By the end of the book, Sidious is talking with Nute Gunray, and he pretty much tells them that they need to blockade Naboo. And that leads us up to our events of the Phantom Menace. All in all, I really enjoyed this book. I don't think it's the best James Luceno's done, at least personally, that I've read. I know he's written more, but out of the stories that I've read from him, it's not bad. Like I said, if you're interested in the Star Wars political side of things, you would enjoy it. If you like the prequels or like the Phantom Menace, it's definitely complementary to that. And as I said, I enjoy these stories that sort of make the prequels better, because there are some problems. All in all, guys, if you're a fan of the prequels, you're a fan of James Luceno, specifically Phantom Menace, definitely recommend this book. Hell of a lot better than what I've been reading lately. So coming up next, I'm reading the 5th book of Rogue Squadron series, and this is technically the first book by Aaron Alston, called Wraith Squadron. Super excited about that. I love the first 4 books of that series. They're some of the best Star Wars books I've read. So yeah, if you're interested, stay tuned. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hope I see you